Now recording.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Roundtable Report. I'm your host, Shaylei.
Hello, Jazzy.
And we have a couple of special guests here with us today. We have Cosmoso and Palpatine joining us. How you doing, guys?
Fantastic.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Fantastic. Don't lie to me. Tell your voice. And the other thing is Cosmoso. I am not saying that full
Cos.
name. You are Cos. Congratulations. You've gotten a
You can
nickname.
just call me Mark too. People don't just keep saying my platoon name. You can just say Mark all the time. It's fine.
Emperor Palpatine?
No, it's fine.
I've been
put a personal face to it. Say Mark. It's fine.
Oh God.
I've been
Look.
Cos for like 14 years now.
Look,
You don't have to
Cos,
put the rest of it.
I don't even you know how many tunes you have with Cos in the name? It's so hard to keep track of.
All
That's
of them.
the whole point. That's how you know it doesn't matter what tune I'm on. You know it's me.
Exactly. I do the same thing with Jazzy.
I mean, at this point in time, if I didn't recognize one of your tunes, I think something would be wrong.
I mean, there is one tune that you don't know because it doesn't have Jazzy in there.
Oh.
Yeah, and you'll never know.
Yeah, I will, because I got you on Real ID.
That's a joke.
I'm waiting for Remix to end so I can bring over Palpatine XD from Remix so Jazzy can get rid of the special characters.
Oh, the glory day. I've already gotten my lack of Wind Fury group, and now no more special characters. Oh, it's so good. Before we dig into our lovely, lovely guests and everything, I did have a little bit of an announcement / reminder for people as we go into the War Within. In the EK Discord, there's a lovely channel called Get Your Roles. So you can get your roles. I know. But this means that you'll be tagged for things like giveaways or the events or anything along those lines that you may or may not want to be involved in. So if you want to join events, make sure you have the events tag. If you want to be pinged for any achievement runs or giveaways or anything like that, just make sure you have the proper tags and you will get only that which you sign up for. Please and thank you. This has been your friendly PSA with Jazzy. So the War Within.
The War Within.
It's not without, but it is within. Are we excited? I'm excited.
I'm
all
excited.
kinds of ready.
I'm excited for a story-driven, long-term run of expansions. I think that they've done a lot lately with making the expansions more interconnected. I think for a while there it was like, okay, we're going to go kill Illidan, then we're going to go kill Arthas, then we're going to go kill Deathwing, then we're going to go kill Garrosh. And it was like, it all never really connected. But now it's like, oh, okay, that sword from 3 expansions ago that caused the,
What sword?
this to happen. And now, I don't know. I like how it's all starting to get connected back together again.
I like that they also have a plan going forward for the next 3, right? With the whole saga thing. They know where they're wanting to end. They know the beats they're going to hit. So I think that's going to just make everything a lot better.
It should
as
hopefully
well.
keep them on, or at least it should hopefully encourage them not to cut a lot of content either. The past few
Yeah.
expansions, I feel like they've cut a lot of stuff. But if they have an overarching narrative that they're trying to achieve, then it'll be harder to cut, big story beats out.
I mean, I distinctly remember Warlords of Draenor where Karabor, yeah, cut. Shatrath, cut. And so many things. It was
That's because we had the garrison with the raid tier of the gravestone. So we're
Oh yeah, I forgot about
that was their nod. That was
raid
their
her.
nod to losing all that. Yeah.
Oh god. I went to my garrison this past week. I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot I like this place."
I
Even
have
last
been.
expansion with, Anduin was supposed to be the final boss of
Oh
his
god,
own
no.
raid,
No.
right?
No. Why? Cause who put you up to this?
I
It
did. I
wasn't
loved
me.
that. I love
Oh
Shadowlands.
god.
It wasn't me.
Palco.
He did it. He did it on
Oh
his
yeah,
own
because
accord.
I felt that they jumbled the story and Sylvanas never should have been the end raid of Sanctum. It should have been Anduin, and the Sylvanas should have been in Supplicar.
Everybody on Empire who's listening right now is just shaking their head.
He was an end boss. He was hard enough to be an end boss. I don't know what
Yeah,
you're
I
talking
think that-
about.
I think he
Ugh.
should have been the end boss of Sepulcher, and then they should have made a 4th raid.
Yes,
With
a
the jailer.
4th mini raid. Yes.
We should
No,
have
not
got
even a mini raid.
Sylvanas.
Come on, what's with
Wi-
this 3-tier nonsense they've been going
Okay,
with?
let me rephrase. Taking only what they already did, split it at Anduin, and then you leave the last 3 for a mini raid after, and that generates no extra work other than, making another raid tier. That was my point. Unless they want to do a full raid tier, I'm not going to complain for more bosses, that's for sure.
They should have just committed and done a full 8 to 10 boss raid with the jailer at the end.
I agree.
I'm greedy.
I mean, Crabgrave.
I'm also
Let's
so
not forget
brave
that
for
boss.
saying it because no one else has ever said it.
Yeah, nobody. I've never heard that one before.
That's how brave I am. I'll come forward. I'll say it.
Oh,
Oh my
but
god.
it is coming out. The War Within is coming out
Early
in
release.
just a couple weeks here. Early
Y'all
release.
got it? Y'all got it?
8/22. Y'all gonna be there?
Yes.
Am I
Yes.
gonna see y'all on login
Are,
day?
are we sure it's coming out on the 22nd?
Okay.
Well, I
look
mean,
in
server
here.
maintenance will put it out on the 23rd.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
There's a
right.
reason I'm taking off of work Friday and not Thursday.
It's gotta no, it's gotta wait until Friday night because I planned my time off of work for it to release on Friday, not
Mhm.
Thursday.
When I get
Oh,
home from work on Friday, I will be diving into it. Servers allowing, right?
I
yeah.
mean, I'm probably gonna be online playing anyway.
Let's
I
say a
will
prayer
still
for the
put
hamsters.
money odds. I'll put money odds that they're gonna pull a Shadowlands on us
Delay it.
and delay it.
Oh, I will
I
be
They
highly
so
doubt
not
that.
No, I've
happy.
already scheduled vacation.
I know. I know.
Given
I'm
that
just
it's this
saying I would
close,
not
I
be.
highly doubt it.
I hope not.
Let me put it this way: this close, even if it's
It
broken,
wouldn't
they're
be
gonna.
that great of odds, but I still think there's a outside chance. It's not like 3-1. We're talking maybe like 100-1 or something. But I still
Okay.
think there's a small chance.
I just turned my axolotl from the happy face to the angry face at you.
Oh no!
Mark.
I will take the Vegas odds that it will be delayed by 1 day because of server maintenance, but I think that they're going to try
That
and
I
push
can
it out
see.
as soon as possible.
That I
Yeah.
can see.
I think that's probably legitimate, but yeah. So early release is 8/22 allegedly. Servers be willing. Go pray for the hamsters. And then full release is 8/26, the following Tuesday for us here in
That's Monday.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Monday. Sorry, for us
I-
here in the lovely North Americas. Suck it up, Europe.
I do have some inside baseball of a theory on that one too. For anyone
Actually,
listening,
it's global
there is
release.
a small
Say that.
chance that you can go into the raid between the 22nd and the 26th with a tune that's above level 70 and go kill a mythic boss for the mount.
Oh.
Oh,
because it's technically not the patch yet? Or
Right. Yeah, and I asked that question to my source and his reply was that's a good question and he never got back to me.
that
it's
slacker.
interesting, right? Because it'll
We
still
need
be
to go try.
It's
it'll
still
still
the
be
lockout.
11.0, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
we need to
because
go
the lockout
try.
the lockout is the 20 because the lockout's that Tuesday, right? The 20th.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the 20th? Is that Tuesday? Calendar.
Right, yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So the lockout's the 20th and the release is and if you go read all their blue posts, they all say the 26th on the blue posts.
If you work for Blizz, and this is the case, and you're listening to this, don't go fix it. Don't be that guy.
No, I mean they could very well easily just put a fix in there saying no one
Oh
above
my
level 70
God.
can go in, but is a very because they'd never done this early release thing before, and the blue post kept saying the 26th, 26th for the mounts, and early release is the 22nd. So
Maybe they'll
Interesting.
do like a missed remix kind of thing with it, where if you are participating in early release, you'll be like phased or sharded differently.
possibly.
Maybe. These are all good questions. I don't have those answers.
I don't have those answers either.
I don't know. I'll probably try once I hit level 80 to see if I can go in.
I'm sure you will. Because you know it gotta go straight through.
Are you
Can't
gonna
not go
try the
straight through.
solo gnarl route?
I mean, no, because I think our gear would be like 525 if I remember what it was on the server, but our health pool would be massive.
Yeah.
With hero talents too.
Yeah. So yeah, early release 22nd, actual release the 26th. And so what's coming with the 26th here, in case people aren't aware, the campaign quests, obviously, new zones, hero talents. Finally, they've been sitting on that talent pane this whole time since pre-patch dropped.
Haunting me.
Just
I wish I could at least look at them.
right? Delves, for those who are interested with that. Do you guys have opinions on delves? I feel like it's just not targeted for me specifically.
As a
It's
heroic.
a.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, in my opinion, it comes across as a Torghast light. But if they make if they make delves hard enough at the top, they could be a challenge, but the reward will not be equal to mythic rating.
As a heroic raid leader, I think delves are probably the best part of the new expansion because I
Okay.
think it's going to give me and my team a way of keeping alts relatively competitive. I agree that they're not going to give like the absolute top tier, and they shouldn't, right? But I can at least keep all my tunes close enough together.
And apparently there's a 13th delve, I believe, that has not been tested, allegedly. That quote unquote, from what I remember reading, and so this is memory of reading something said by somebody else, so apply salt as necessary. It's hard enough and should give like Mage Tower vibes, was what was told. So interesting.
Okie dokie.
That's what I'm saying. It feels like they're taking the Torghast idea and taking the Mage Tower idea and then trying to make it into a soloable content thing for people to give them another thing to do besides dungeon and raids for gearing progression, which is fine because not everybody wants to do dungeons, not everybody wants to do raids. But as long as when I tested delves on the campus, they were boring because for me, it's kind of like a low level thing. But if they were to really jack up the difficulty, I could see the appeal to it because if you put rewards in there or transmogs in there or that cool mount that you can customize, that the flying thing,
That's from delves, yeah.
That's from delves, yeah. So like that kind of stuff can come across and be appealing to people in their off time.
It might just be something fun to just go do, and plus you get to hang out with Brand too, right? Because we've never done that before.
I'm excited because I play this game exclusively with my wife as a duo. We pretty much always play together and we're not playing without the other. So it's not always conducive for us to get a full dungeon group together, but the two of us could always queue up for a delve. I mean, I know you don't have to queue and you just walk to it and blah blah blah, but you know what I'm saying, right? Like it gives the two of us something. That's why we really liked Tourguest too, right? It was just something that the two of us could do on our own time, and have some fun with it.
And how many times did I join you guys in Torghast?
For sure, but 3 is still easier than 5.
Oh yeah. Hey, you know what though? Wasn't Torghast supposed to have rewards at the end and they took it out for whatever reason?
No, you still had to grind it for your legendary stuff.
They took
I
out,
remember.
I'm talking about the
besides the
rewards at the end of
legendary,
it.
Oh, the like gear stuff?
Yeah, I thought thought it was supposed to drop gear at the end of each run originally, and then they changed it.
They specifically never had gear there. They wanted to
Yes,
be
I
for
know, but they were
achievements. Even from the get-go,
boo,
even. I don't.
boo.
Yeah, it was meant to be difficult, and it didn't work out that way. But
Yeah, I mean,
it was
hey, you know
fun
what?
though.
It was fun,
it was fun. I enjoyed healing myself and killing all the ads because corrosive vivify.
especially when you went in there and you frickin' went an 18 when you should have been on like a 4.
Eh.
You just went squish.
Yeah, so there's also the new race, the Earthen. Are y'all gonna race change? You're
No.
gonna
No.
level 1? No? I mean, they're not gnomes,
It's a-
so they're clearly
it's a-
inferior.
It's a dwarf.
Made of rock.
It's
I don't
it's
care.
it's the third dwarf race.
Yeah, right?
I
It's-
didn't care about
it's-
dwarves. I didn't care about dark iron dwarfs, and now I don't care about earthen dwarves.
It's a
Wow.
dwarf. So speaking of races, what about classes? What's everybody playing?
I worked multiple years and multiple tiers to get back on my paladins. I'll be remaining on the paladin to the day I retire.
So you're playing your warlock?
No. Nope. Nope.
Speaking of warlocks, I think that's what Kaz settled on.
I am going to play a warlock, yes.
Ooh.
What about you, Jazzy?
I'm sticking with the monk most likely. I'm planning on having at least a couple tanks just in case. But monk is looking pretty strong, so I'm gonna stick with that. Plus,
Yeah,
it's
right now I'm looking out of going out of trader status, which I have picked up from the shaman on Harbinger, back to the shaman from the priest.
Finally, you're going back on your correct tune. Don't look me.
I switched from the shaman to the priest, and Anubis and Chandy both called me a traitor.
Correctly so.
Now, Elemental is looking pretty.
Yeah.
I got to get used to Stormkeeper not being a thing, because right now Stormkeeper is not a thing in the shaman spec, and I'm just like, what is this?
I know
But Lava
nothing about
Burst.
shaman.
But
They-
Lava
You
Burst.
trade Stormkeeper for the superior cooldown of Ascendance.
Yeah. Well, it's just Stormkeeper has been a thing since Legion. It has always been a part of the spec, and now it's not.
See, shamans suffer from the same affliction that paladins do. They can't be gnomes, so I don't really play them. The exception to my gnome rule is actually my demon hunter. I enjoy playing her, but everything else is all my other classes are gnomes.
Hey, but you know what? I'm not a dwarf.
I mean, yeah.
You have to eat one of those like biscuits that makes you smaller every time you play your demon hunter. Then you'll be kind of like a gnome.
Exactly right. It'll be like a flea hopping around everywhere.
Okay.
So
Oh.
also okay, so with the 26th, which is the actual like launch day, we're getting all of that. We're also getting the leveling dungeon, so that's the normal mode of the dungeons. And I believe heroic?
No.
If I
No.
Hang on.
Well, yeah.
Hang
Well,
on.
yes. Heroic.
Heroic.
Sorry, yes. We'll have leveling dungeons. Yeah, we'll have the normal dungeons from the 22nd to the 26th, and then
Yeah.
heroic dungeons will be the only thing we have
26th.
access to from the
Once you reach
26th
max level.
until September 10th.
Yep. And then
This is a
Boo.
long time.
I mean, yeah, September 10th comes around, and the raid comes out. And we also get Mythic Zeros. This is important. It is not Mythic Plus. It is Mythic Zeros.
It's a Mythic
think-
10.
See, I think they
No,
should give
it's
us
a
the
Mythic
Mythic
Zero.
Zero. They should give us the
It's a
Mythic Zeros the
10.
week
It's a
before
Mythic
the
10 in
raid.
season 3. It's a Mythic 10
I mean,
in
that's
season
true.
3. Come on.
Season 3, that season that we're in right now. Oh, wait, no. The season that we're not
She
in
hates
right
you when
now.
I say that. She hates when I say this.
Oh, my
Well,
God.
I have to say it over and
How
over
many
again because
months?
people don't read. People don't read, and people don't play the game. And actually, they don't understand that Blizzard made a change.
They exist,
You just
though.
have to shout it from the rooftops over and over and over again
No,
until
you
they
don't,
realize.
because it
Yes, you do.
confuses them.
No, it doesn't.
All right.
Confuses
So
them so much.
I'm gonna bring a topic in here that I don't think any of us really have much to comment on. PvP.
It is a thing that exists in WoW.
Yeah,
That's about that doesn't exist.
Oh, so
Next topic.
Yeah, I mean PvP is something that I do if I have to for PvE, but that's about it.
The last time I seriously took PvP was in order to get my cloak in Mob, and I had to. That was
I did
that was
it
it.
in I did it in Legion a lot for the
I didn't do
artifact
it.
appearances.
I mean,
that
we
was the
did the
appearance I didn't get.
we hosted the PvP event for the 10th anniversary.
Host, that's distinctly not doing it, right?
And I agreed to host it for that reason.
Yeah. And then there was the what was the Azur and BFA? There was the Azurite neck essence thing, right? That you could get
Yeah,
from
that
PvP,
was
blood and
when that,
whatever. Yeah, still didn't
which
get
was
that.
actually your best. It was
It was
actually
actually my
technically the
best.
best. Yeah, it was the best miner in the game.
Yep. And I
Okay.
did not get it because PvP, no, that's not for me.
I
Just nope.
remember that. Yeah, I don't think I made that mandatory on my raid team. Probably for the same
Oh, well.
reason. It's
You
like I get that
did
this is the
not.
best, but I'm not gonna force you guys to PvP.
Yep, not worth and for me. Mm-mm. I don't like me when I PvP. That's the problem.
I agree with you. I
I
don't like
turn
how
into a very
competitive I get.
I turn into a bad person, which is saying a lot.
It reminds me of back when I used to play League of Legends, and it was like I would just fly off the handle at the littlest things, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like, yeah, I don't want to take anything that seriously anymore ever again.
No. So, yeah, that's the thing that exists. If you're in EK, please pay attention. There may or may not be PvP events happening in the future. I will not be attending. Um, there's the season for PvP also starts on September 10th as well,
This
and
is when the
also
game launches.
yeah, and also rated battleground solo queue. I believe that's a thing that people have been asking for. Is that arena solo queue? I think there's arena solo queue that they've been
It's
like
arena. They
clamoring
had
for.
battleground solo queues already.
Okay. Well, there you go. And then also,
Don't know. Will not be participating.
yeah, will not be participating. We also get this thing called seasonal delves. I,
Question mark?
there was a thing, and my notes say, "WTF are these?"
I think it's just
I have a
that
feeling it's
every.
the.
Hmm?
Sorry, I was just gonna say I think they said that every season you'd get a new companion and a new talent tree and a new, like the first season is with Bran, but
Mhm.
there's no guarantee that Bran's the only person that we're going to be delving with, or that Bran is even, like. So I think that's what they meant by seasonal delves, was that this season it's going to be Bran, but next season it might be, someone else, Hemet, or I mean, who knows, right?
Are they the same delves as come with the full release or the full
No, we'll
release?
be in a different zone. There's a hidden zone level 4 that they're not releasing at the raid. So
Oh, interesting.
if we have like a patch cadence, my gut tells me that the zone and the delve will be tied to the patch.
Okay.
They'll put some, because it's open world content, you're not going to want to be doing the same delves in the same beginning world for the entire
You
expansion. So we'll have the zone that's the patch after Ash Kahet, right, and then the patch after that, and then the patch after that, and then they'll just put the delves in the open world.
But what's weird is on their little infographic where much of this info came from. They actually mention that on September 10th, seasonal delves happen, and that makes me
I
think
would take
that
that as
Well,
temporary.
well,
I
didn't they
aren't they
also say?
scale?
Yeah, didn't they also say that like delves would have a level kind of like Mythic Plus,
Yeah, I thought that they did.
and
You could set it and
so that's
earn
where
and
the
go through it.
difficulty and rewards out of delves were coming from, where like anyone can just walk into a delve, but if you wanted to, when you walked in, you could like use something that they kind of described it as a key almost, and then you could put that in, and then if you did it in time, then I mean it seemed like Mythic Plus for delves, honestly.
That's kind of how I remember seeing it. I'm wondering if that's what they mean here by seasonal and increase the difficulty and increase the rewards and blah 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 blah.
My guess
So
is
They're
that
going
at
to
the
rotate
beginning,
them.
it's just going to be delves. Like,
yeah,
you walk in and you do a delve and you get a reward. But then when the
yeah,
season starts is when they'll start doing things like the difficulty scaling and the reward scaling and all of that stuff.
yeah. Okay, interesting. And of course, tier sets on 910 because the raid is going to be out. So tier sets. Um, do note, I said heroic and normal raid comes out on September 10th. Mythic comes out a week later, which
Good.
for like me, that means the game doesn't start till the 17th. So
I mean, there'll be
I'm
other
glad
stuff you
Heroic
have
Week
to
is back.
do.
Yeah, but the game.
No, it's a good thing the Heroic Week is back. It was a travesty to get taken away.
I'm very happy about it too.
It gives them time to actually see the expansion play out and tune the classes properly, and the Raiders don't feel like we have to shotgun everything so fast.
And tune the
Give-
fights properly. Did we all
and-
forget that they used Heroic Week to actually tune Mythic?
And then they're going to
was a
kill
thing?
Elemental because they always do.
Well, yeah, because you're not allowed to have fun, Shay. Specifically
No.
you and you alone. You are not allowed to
I'm
have
not
fun.
allowed to have fun.
No, they won't kill it because you guys now bring a raid buff, so they won't kill
That's
it.
true. But that's all shaman.
Yes,
I was
but I will
talking
tell you
about-
this: having a DPS shaman, you're gonna want multiple shamans in your raid group because of that raid buff. So you're gonna want to have flexibility in comps. Just how like it's not so much like it like if you think about it, every raid buff in the game, most if you kind of like plan things out, you would like to have backups of them because not having Demon Hunter buff sucks, not having the Mage buff sucks, not having if someone's missing a night, right? So I don't think Blizzard's gonna make shamans terrible because you guys don't have a raid buff. So it's typically not how they've operated.
Oh, I'm
this
I'm
season.
speaking specifically of Elemental.
I think
You'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
No dooming.
You'll be
Leave
fine.
that to the
Makes me
boom
sad.
chickens.
It makes me sad. Anywho, shiny.
You're not allowed to doom. That's the where the boom chickens. They're the doomers. Remember, sky is falling.
Okay.
This
Yeah,
is true. They always have to doom.
they do.
So dungeons. What are we thinking?
I've
They're
gone
gonna be
out
hard.
of my way to avoid looking at them.
They're
So
pretty.
I don't have. I mean, I did one of them on the beta. It was the Rookery, and that was pretty cool. But besides that, I've just been trying to avoid everything, so that when we get to the expansion itself, we can I can dive right into them and see how do see it all fresh.
Palp, you
But
and I
more
did
dungeons are
some.
always a good thing.
Yeah, I did
did.
a lot of dungeons. They're gonna be
Miss the
they're gonna be a lot
Tyrannosaurus.
harder than people anticipate. I mean the 4 dungeons we've done in the past are fine, but there's a lot of poisons, a lot of CC, a lot of stops. Shamans are going to be gods of Mythic Plus because of the toolkits. So
Poison totem.
yeah, poison totem, cap totem, everything that the shamans bring to the table is going to be probably one of the best healers there. But it's going to be a lot harder than people think. So they need to temper their expectations.
I need to reinstall that Miss of Turnaside week aura / add-on because I got rid of that because Shadowlands. I think I'm pretty justified in that one. But yeah, I need to get that back because I don't want to have to do the maze again. Just do a solver for me. I don't. I know
I mean,
how to. I don't want to.
I'm looking forward to grinding a changeling and then doing that stupid thing where you have to go eat a specific food in the morning.
I'm sorry, what?
So the changeling, the changeling trinket from Mysatyr Scythe back in Shadowlands, right?
Mm-hmm. Shadowlands.
So the changeling would respond to a type of food. So whatever food you ate, there was a week where like every personal food offers crit, mastery, verse, haste, right? Whatever the personal food is. And the changeling would respond to that and it would give you the buff for the day of that. So anytime you ate that, if you ate that food first, your changeling would change and then it wouldn't change again for the 24 hours. And then when you're in raid or in combat, it would give you that stat buff.
Gotcha.
Not tedious at all.
No, not tedious at all. But if they're a paladin who wants crit, there wasn't a whole outside of the raid. My gut tells me that changeling would be good again for us.
I don't recall Mists of Turnaside, other than being a decent enough dungeon. I always like the mists. I just didn't like the maze. I don't recall it actually having any gear that I desperately wanted as a monk. I could be wrong though. I'm not going to terribly miss the necrotic wake at all.
That one bugged out on us still. Hopefully they fix that bug.
I'm very happy to be a tank in Necrotic Wake because the last boss, having being sent down, is just annoying. I know I can't be the only one who feels that way.
Which dungeon?
Necrotic Wake. DPS gets
You
sent
get
down to
sent.
the sides and have to fight through, run through, and kill the thing at the end, and then fly back up. Yeah.
Oh, the pyramid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Acropolis.
Yeah,
Whatever.
that was always annoying because you always popped all your cooldowns on pull and then got
And then you get
chosen
sent down.
first.
Yeah.
So if you think to yourself, okay, well, I'll hold all my cooldowns, then
They don't go.
then you hold all your cooldowns and then you don't actually have any like. Oh yeah, no, that was awful.
Yeah. So I don't miss that one at all. But I don't know. I for the new dungeons that I have run, they're decent. I don't really have any too terrible complaints. They look very pretty, like I said, but I'm excited. I'm excited because it's just new stuff. It's been almost 2 years of Dragonflight, so time for some new. Let's see here. So Mythic opens on September 17th. Are we putting bets on who's gonna win the race to the world first? Are we gonna have another Echo victory? Another Liquid victory? An upset? Is it gonna be Method
I
again?
won't reference the
Somebody
meme
else?
because I don't think people know what the meme.
No, they don't know that yet.
But I will put money on Echo.
Echo? Alright. Cause?
I
Shay?
don't pay attention. I'm sorry.
Cause.
We're heroic raiders. We don't
So?
care.
It's still entertaining. To get to watch these people lose their minds on Halandris and do weird stuff where Fired Up and THD are losing their minds, bouncing back and forth, juggling a bomb. Look, those were kind of hilarious. I, I am assuming y'all didn't ever watch that, but watching Fired Up and THD on Halandris passing the bomb back and forth every, what was it then? Like 15 seconds you could hold it? Originally, it was
Very short timer back then.
very
Yes.
short timer, and Fired Up was just a god at it with his blinking all over the place and picking it up at the exact last second. It was just, beautiful. But it's just entertaining to watch the race of the world first and the amount of degeneracy that they do. How many splits? Yes.
I mean,
All the splits.
It's a decent way to make some gold. Get more or less
betting?
carried. No, if you can manage to get into their split runs, they pay you to be there. You just got to give up the gear.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. And it's a decent gold, but eh. So Palp says Echo. Kaz has no idea. Shay?
I'm between Liquid and Echo.
Okay.
I don't know which one is my favorite. I mean,
Wow.
look, it's probably we all know it's probably going to end up being Echo.
I don't know about that.
Well, isn't Liquid? Aren't they Viserio now, or is that what they're called? Is that what they
No,
renamed it?
they're liquid. They used to be Limit. Now they're liquid.
Oh, I thought they changed their name. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
Yeah. They're also Method has been on the rise the past couple tiers from their, what do we want to call it? Let's be generous and call it a sabbatical.
Sabbatical.
Do we think that they're gonna come through and actually show up for real and be
Maybe.
even more of a contender than they were this last tier, they were nipping at the heels of both Liquid and Echo for a lot of the tier, and they were not far off of taking the crown.
I think that Method is a household name, so I think a lot of people might be rooting for them. Maybe some like older fans coming back to the game might root for them.
Okay. I mean,
I
yeah,
would concur with that.
could be. Do we have a dark horse? Do we have somebody that we have no idea? I would normally say like Fat Shark, yes, but they're no longer.
No, I think that race, the top of the end scene, is kind of dying in my opinion. Big Dumb Gil quit, so
Yeah.
Look, I think you guys should go and compete with them.
no.
No.
No, only if I won the lotto would I fund a daytime thing like that. No.
Hey, pal, I'm
Oh.
too expensive.
You like have to live on like sponsorships and streaming, and I mean they make so little money from the actual race itself and so much money from the fact that they're now like noticeable and popular streamers, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely a sponsorship thing and less a the actual gaming portion, unfortunately. So many sponsorships. Brought to you by no, I'm not doing it. So, how many resets do we think this tier is gonna take? So Mythic opens and reset number 1. Are we gonna see a second? I would assume so.
I think we'll see a second reset now that Heroic Week is gone.
Are we gonna see a third?
No.
That's a very interesting point. Now that you said now that Heroic Week is back, we're not going to see the second reset because everyone will get all
No,
their
I think we're
practice
gonna. I
rounds
think we're
over
gonna
before.
see. I think we're gonna see the reset.
We'll see
I
one
think
reset and be in the
Blizzard's gonna
second.
tune their raid harder because of the fact that
Because
Heroic Week is back.
Do you? I know, Palp. We did a little bit of raid testing, and Silk and Court can go suck it. But they didn't test the last boss at all. Are we
Correct.
concerned? They
No,
didn't used to test the last boss. They
it
kept it
never
a
test last
secret.
boss. Yeah, it'd be fine.
You think it'll be okay? Do you think it's gonna be buggy? No pun intended.
Limit will test. Limit will test it for Echo. It'll be fine.
Oh my god.
Is that what we do over here in NA? We just beta test
So we
for 'em?
do NA. We NA for Europe. Yep.
You're welcome, Europe.
What do we think the hardest raid boss is going to be in the tier?
The last one.
You think
The one we haven't tested.
admittedly, I have not read the Dungeon Journal, and that's my bad. I don't know. Silken Court was actually legit.
Well, no,
I
if Blizzard does it. Blizzard does their tuning curve correctly. It should be the last boss.
so it'll be the Silken Court then,
Hmm.
'cause they're not gonna do their tuning correctly.
Sure.
What are we thinking about the new affixes?
For M
Oh, I think it's
plus.
great that they dumped them all. Just get rid. I'm glad they tuned it, dumped them all, and brought back that Kiss Curse one, and then got rid of all of them for 12, and it's gonna be good.
Well, they just added one, and it's not in our notes here, but they added another of the Zalatath's bargain, right? The one that changes.
Yeah.
They added another one, but it's a heal absorb, but it's also could be dispelled.
That's
So,
fine.
but if it's not taken care of in one of those manners, it actually heals all the mobs for I think it's 10% per. So it's very punishing. It feels like. Especially if it's on a boss. Could you imagine healing 10% of a boss? Oof.
Nope.
Oof. That would hurt.
I mean, Mythic Plus has been around since Legion, and they've been kind of limping along with these affixes since then. So I'm glad they decided to throw it all out and start basically from scratch. So I think it'd be a good change.
Yeah.
I
What are
think
you
it'd be a
thinking
good
about it,
change.
Cos?
I think the best part about affixes in the past has always been the seasonal ones. So I agree that if they're going to like go really heavy into this whole Zealoteth thing and like really heavy into the um into the fact that the old affixes kind of are maybe a little less important now, and it's going to be these like new, bigger affixes that like I think that's pretty good.
You say that, and then there's still Fort and Tyrannical because reasons.
I mean, stuff like that's never really bothered me. I've never been a fan of tyrannical, but that's not like, I mean,
Oh, so you're a
that's just a
DPS.
personal thing. Of course, I'm a DPS.
It's funny.
Pew pew.
Because DPS love Fort, tanks love Tyrannical, and healers hate M+. Tell me I'm wrong, pal.
I mean, you got to pad. You got to pad the meters. The more targets you got to hit, the longer they live, the more you can pad.
Yeah. The longer they live, the more chance I'm going to die, says tanks.
I mean, Kaz is a DPS with me, so.
I could tell because he said he liked Fort.
No, I didn't say I liked Fort. I said I didn't like tyrannical.
Same thing.
Oh my
so
gosh.
so yeah, we get the Zalatas bargain, which is the kind of it's either rotating or you pick. I don't know if that's been cleared up. I want to say it's rotating weekly. I may be wrong on that. And there's different varieties of that, so stay tuned. They may add more. You got Fort or Tyrannical. Then you have Challenger's Peril at 7, which is an increased death timer. It goes from 5 seconds to 15, so don't die, forehead. Problem solved. At 10, you get the other one of Fort or Tyrannical, so you end up with both at a 10. But then at 12, Challenger's Peril goes away. Zalatas Bargain goes away, so no more of the fun things. And you get Zalatas Guile, which is straight up 20% more health and damage to everything, plus the Tyrannical and Fort. So no more of the weird gimmicky stuff, and just straight up, it does more numbers. And that's where it starts scaling up. So less creative, but more focused on the dungeons. Do we think that's a good thing? Do we think that's a bad thing? How
I
much
think it's a good
ego
thing
points
because
are
it
we gonna get?
makes everything into push week.
Pew pew.
Sure. It also, I mean, rewards stop at 10 or 12.
Right, but I'm saying for the people who want to push keys, they now can push keys whenever they want. They don't have to wait for a specific week to kind of game it.
Sure. Are we going to see fewer numbers of people
In the
in those
12s,
in the 12s and higher?
I think you'll see the same people that you saw before. The same people who push keys, but the same people who push keys.
I agree. I don't think this is going to encourage anybody new to start pushing keys, but I think that it's a good change for the people that already do.
See, I think it would encourage some more fresh blood because they're not having to worry about, oh, this random affix this week and then having to learn a new route or learn how to deal with new stuff the next week
I
because of
also
that stuff.
think so. Like counterpoint to that is that if designed well, which I mean, hit or miss
Grain
on
of salt.
Blizzard's part, right? But if designed well, I think affixes are what keeps Mythic Plus enjoyable in the sense that it's every dungeon will be slightly different. Whereas when you start pushing up into these hierarchies, you're right, you lose the affix, you put a focus on dungeon mechanics and proper execution of the routes through the dungeons, and you kind of get rid of all that like gimmicky stuff. But the gimmicky stuff I think is what makes it, it's like, oh, this week, and okay, personal opinions aside, right? But it's like, oh, this week is Sanguine, so I know that I'm going to need to take Typhoon or Ursul's Vortex
Find
or
a different tank other than Jazzy.
Ring a Peace, or I'm going to have to like, like, oh, Sanguine is forcing me to play the game differently, or you know, I'm not saying I really particularly liked the healing and crowd control affixes that they added, but like as a dragon it was like, oh, what's the affix? Okay, well, let me take my 1 minute dispel, or what's the affix? Okay, well, let me take dream walk. Or I actually liked the fact that the affixes forced you to approach the dungeons a little differently. I do agree that in this past expansion it hasn't necessarily been handled the best, which is why I don't mind that they're wiping everything away and trying again. But I think the higher keys removing affixes entirely might be a detriment to some people. but including myself, I kind of like the gimmicky part of it.
I mean, the gimmicky part is still going to be there for like 10s
Oh, for sure.
and
And
11s.
wherever KSM lands with the portals and the mount and everything, that's right where I'll be. But I personally haven't been pushing super high keys before, and removing affixes isn't an encouragement enough for me to continue to, or to want to try to push higher keys now.
See, I fall on the other end of that spectrum. I like the kind of changing stuff up, but when it gets to a point where like I seriously want to, at a 12, like we're taking this seriously. It's not about the rewards, it's about the IO or about the prestige or what have you. I don't want to have to deal with uh, a weekly rotating thing that may or may not be something that causes me tremendous amounts of headache. I loathe with a passion sanguine. I hate that affix so much. I've hated it since they introduced it. It's horrible. You should have deleted it from the get go. But beside that, getting rid of that and just focusing on boss mechanics and trash mechanics for the part that makes it purely about ego or IO, I think is a good thing. And that actually would draw somebody like me to want to push higher keys than I do now. So I don't know. I'll be interested to see how it pans out. I think it'll work well. Who knows? Tuning still not done.
I'm happy to get KSM.
Me too.
I think I would lose interest very quickly if it was just the same 8 dungeons over and over and over again. And like I said, when affixes
Yeah.
are done well, I think they add variety enough to kind of fool you into thinking that you're not doing the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Now, we've seen affixes go very poorly, and I think that is probably the reason why they are just completely starting over with them. But I also think that they've done affixes very well in the past, and those have been the patches, tiers, seasons, expansions, where I've been the most excited to do Mythic Plus.
Well, when somebody says the seasonals that worked well, there's a few that come to mind. I think Infested was one that people liked, if I recall, in BFA, the Kahoonies.
Yep,
Um,
I think people liked the Buam Samdi one, where every
Yes.
25% trash, everything came back to life.
mhm. Yep.
I like
Yep.
the general ones where you could just skip the trash.
Yep, where you
Yeah.
could make your
Awakened.
own portals and make your own
Yep.
route.
Yeah, I think those were some of the ones that they hit nail on the head. Those were very well done as far as seasonal goes.
Anything that lets us do lots of DPS is always fun. That's why I think they're trying to lean more into the Kiss Curse stuff. I'm pretty
For
sure the
sure, I
Zalthus
agree.
bargain lets us do more DPS.
It often does, yes.
Yeah.
Even like the one we were talking about with the heal absorb whatnot. If it's dealt with correctly, I think everybody gets a 10% haste buff. So everybody except for Brewmasters gets to rejoice.
So one of the affixes that's current that I don't like is when the two ads pop up when you have to dispel one and heal one. And a lot of DPS have the ability to help out, but some DPS just straight don't, and it's kind of like frustrating. And like on my dragon I could help out, but on my warlock I can't. And imagine if okay, you don't hit it and you get a huge haste debuff and it sucks and you're probably going to wipe. Now imagine when you do successfully do it, the whole party gets a 10% damage buff for like 10 seconds. Just something
Yeah.
small, just enough, right? Then I think I would probably think a lot differently of that affix, where
I
it feels like
guarantee you none of them would ever get off because the DPS would be clamoring to get it off.
exactly. And I think
Yep.
that that's fun. I think it's fun to be rewarded for doing something correctly as opposed to punished for doing something incorrectly.
I agree. And I think that's kind of where they're going with the Zalatath bargain ones, right? With the Kiss Curse. I think they're trying to do that a little bit more, which is good. And I think that I hope it works out well. I really do.
Which is
So
why it would, to circle back, which is why I personally am not super excited about them removing all affixes entirely from the higher pushes, because you lose Sanguine, but you also lose, the generals to make your own path, or you also lose the bomb. Like, you're losing the hard, annoying stuff, but you're also losing the ability to have those fun, heroic moments of, oh, I did this correctly. Now let's go, ham.
Yeah, it's more technical. It's more vanilla.
It'll make for a better MDI, I guess, and that's probably what they're going for.
Yeah, maybe. We'll have to see. I'm excited for the MDI too, and the following TGP and all that fun stuff. Hey, we should probably talk to Raider IO at some point.
I'm sure I could get them to come back and talk to us again.
Oh yeah.
I just have to
when
have to see when.
When this stuff happens, I'm sure we'll be there. But
Like,
yeah.
hey Pico, you want to come back and talk to us again?
So yeah. So I mean that covers all of our show notes. Anybody have anything else that they want to talk about specifically for the War Within?
I'm trying to keep a positive attitude on the release and thinking that Blizzard will release it properly and we won't be dealing with bugs, because I'm staying positive until I'm shown something else from Blizzard. But
I mean, there will be bugs. The question is whether or not
right, I know, but like that's why I put myself like 100-1 that maybe they'll delay it again because it's just too buggy. But like all the doomers out there really have soured me. It's like, no, I'm not gonna be doomer. Let's be positive here.
Wait, you're
The
not going to be
doomers
doomer?
every expansion. I mean, there's
WoW's
always going to be
dead. Haven't you
doomers.
heard?
Yeah, I mean we can meme about the expansion being ready or not, but I'm like, I know Blizzard's trying and they're listening, and I think we should just give them the benefit of the doubt till they prove us wrong. Like they fixed the pre-patch event in 24 hours, so
Yeah.
so
maybe
I think
maybe they got their stuff together.
maybe
Easy
the
there.
bigger question is, why did someone release it in that state in the first place? That's more what I want to ask my source, is like, because like, yeah, we turned it around in 24 hours, like, well, I saw that, but who okayed it the first time?
I ask myself that all the time.
Why was it broken to begin with?
Yeah, why does this feel
Glare.
so bad? It's like,
Why
yeah,
did
now
you have
it's
to touch the thing that wasn't working?
right, which it goes back to like, why did they release it before remix ended? So all our remix tunes that can't even do it. But I guess they're just leaning into the whole warbank thing at that point, because it's like, well, do the event, put a year in your warbank, let it sit there, and the remix tune comes off, and boom, now you can transfer it. So maybe that's what their intention was, but it just kind of all felt a little strange. But
I mean, do we want to speculate what the heck broke with the Warbank release thing?
Yeah.
Because
I hate
not
that.
being,
I'm gonna guess cross
Guy.
server trading broke it all.
you think?
So
Yeah.
Kaz has to dip out
Oh, okay.
because
Sorry.
real life stuff. Thanks for
Unacceptable.
joining
You're
us,
not allowed real life.
Kaz. I will see you on Tuesday if I don't see
Yeah.
you before then.
Yeah, thanks for
Thanks,
having me
Kaz.
on. It was fun as always.
Right.
Yeah.
Bye, Kaz.
Bye,
Bye,
guys. I'll see you
Kaz.
guys later.
See ya.
Anywho, continue.
So
No, I mean,
Warbank, you
Jazzy's heard
broke
this
it.
from me. Yeah, but it has to be the cross server stuff.
See, I heard that it could also be the retroactive quest acquisition appearances for items that you didn't take, right? So whenever you
Wait,
complete a
what?
quest, you get the appearance of all the items for that quest, but you only get the
Dude.
item of that quest. This has been since Warlords.
Wait, so they're backdating it?
That's what I heard, and I heard that's what broke some of the scripting, was because, oh, now these other items that you weren't even shown because they weren't your armor type,
I
but are now
mean,
eligible.
that's going to be a lot of backdating with transmogs for me. 'Cause
Yeah.
I've been playing for a very long time.
So I don't know. It could be just cross realm stuff. It could be that.
Well,
I
they
don't know.
disabled cross realm trading at the same time. So, and then cross realm trading came back when the Warbank came back. So that's kind of why I was thinking.
Maybe. I mean, it's entirely possible. It's purely
Maybe.
speculation. You know,
I don't
Yes.
know.
nice thing about WoW.
I just work here.
What?
I just work here.
Lies. I hear you run everything.
Yeah, okay. Sure. We'll go with that. I run the social media.
Mm-hmm. Very well.
Thank you. I try.
Well, in that case, it's a horrible job.
me.
So, all right. Well, I'm excited. Only a couple more weeks, a handful of weeks. Not even.
It's
partial
almost
handful of weeks.
time. I'm excited.
I'm excited. I'm excited mostly for the new raid because new raid. I'm always excited.
I'm just ready for. I'm just ready to not see dragons everywhere all the time. I mean, dragons are cool and whatnot, but I don't. I look at them all day. Well, not all day, but I look at them every day. And it's like, I like pixel dragons, but this is a bit extensive from pixel dragons.
It's literally called the Dragon Isles.
Pixel dragons. Coffee. Shiny. Wait, what?
Wait.
I'm enjoying this break we're having of one night raiding for the past few weeks and continuing on.
It's great, isn't it?
Recharging the batteries. Well, I mean, some of us have gone hard
You
for
always
2+
one night
years.
raid.
I know, and that's why it's great.
No,
But for people like Jazzy and I, we never got a break from the end of Shadowlands and the Dragonflight. It was a grind. So for some of us, we've been grinding since Sire.
Yeah, we've
of
been
like
full.
actually no,
We've been full time
No.
raiding. We took farm in Sod, so we've been full
so
time
yeah,
raiding
basically
since
farm and
Sepulchre.
Sepulchre. Yeah, Sepulchre.
Yeah.
So from Sepulchre till now, it's basically been nonstop grinding because of just circumstances. So it's nice to have this
That's a lot.
kind of downtime.
Yeah. But we've been able to get the whole team their raid mounts.
Almost. We have a couple more to go, but yeah.
Yeah.
I still don't have a rate mount.
Only 5 million.
Yeah, it's only 5 million gold, and doesn't look like they're raising the price in pre-pack, which surprises me.
That
So
does
anyone
surprise
listening,
me.
it's 5 million gold. We have one spot for August 13th.
Go.
Yep. So
All right. I think that's gonna do it for us, Shay.
The 13th is a Tuesday.
It is.
Mhm.
That doesn't work.
Yes, it does. Why
Not
doesn't
for
it
me.
work?
Not for me, it doesn't.
Well, there's your problem. Yeah, we do sales on Tuesday.
Anywho, this was fun as always.
Thank you, Palp,
yep,
for
thanks
coming
for having me
along.
on. No problem.
Thanks for coming.
Anytime.
All right.
Yeah. See you guys
We
in
will
War Within.
see you guys next time.
Woo! Bye, Craig.
Bye, Craig.